So I was asked a similar question actually at a conference recently: is what one thing would you change if you wanted to try and have a difference now? Uh, and there's loads of things, right? There was a conversation that followed off the back of this. Is, oh well, it'd be really helpful if we could class deploy new technology as revenue, but not coming from a capital budget, because currently it comes from capital, not from revenue, and it's makes it far more difficult to get things procured and moving in the NHS. So you can go down quite technical things that could potentially make a difference. I think for me, I'd like to think a bit broader than that. So what is the one thing that we could all do differently? And that would be to think about the mindset that we approach the way that we deliver our roles within health and care settings. And if we all were able to be just a little bit more effective with our mindset, that's quite I choose that word quite consciously, because effective mindsets are different for different roles. So, you could argue that in my role as an anaesthetist, an effective mindset is to be sympathetic and compassionate with my patients all the time. But that when I'm dealing with an emergency, an effective mindset is to be quite, forthright and firm in terms of trying to sort out the issues with the emergency. So it's different mindsets are needed for different roles. But if we could all look at the roles that we're in a given moment and think about the mindset that we are approaching that role in, and try and have the right mindset for that role at that time, the benefits that we can give each other are actually quite profound. And I link that back to a friend of mine who used to be part of the Olympic cycling team. And he has this one quote for me that always sort of like stood up very strongly. He said, "There's lots of marginal gains that you can make in the physical sort of like in the training that you give Olympic athletes." He said, "But if you can get the mindset into the right mindset, that can far surpass any of the gains that you've got with your marginal gains elsewhere." He said it can suck them all away, or it can enhance them by a significant percentage, by a much higher impact than he said you can. His words were, you get marginal gains, a percentage here, a percentage there, a percentage there, but if you get the mindset right, that can give you a further 20% on top of all of that. And I think he was exaggerating to prove the point, but the key is that mindset matters everywhere.
Yeah.
And the more that we think and consciously engage with having the right mindset in the right interactions in our roles, the value that we can bring to each other and to our patients is quite profound.